believe in ghosts? Wow. How many of you believe in angels? I do too, and I'll tell you why. In 2004, the worst tsunami in Indonesian history hit early in the morning. It took home 203,000 souls. My friend Donna, who had been my best friend for 8 years, a wild and crazy thing, our friendship was one of the best ever, lay dying. But you know how I knew she was going to be an angel? She waited until God wasn't quite so busy. She left this planet at 6:37 in the evening. While I was sitting with her, holding her hand while she wayed in and out of her death rest, I asked her, Donna, when you get to heaven, will you do me a favor? She said, I will if I can. I said, would you please send me an angel feather? She said, you know I will if I can. So it wasn't too long after that, and she had passed. And we said goodbye, and I knew she was on her way to heaven. And about 3 weeks later, I was coming out of the dry cleaners. And from the sky came this beautiful pink feather. And it just wafted and wafted down and down and down and ended up right at my left toe. And I just looked up and I said, thank you, Donna. Now I know that you are an angel. I still miss her, but I know she's in a lot better place than we are. A few months later, I was summoned to Wisconsin. My mom's mental health had diminished to the point where they knew it wasn't long. And I was washing her hair and washing the hair dye out of it because I knew that it wouldn't be long, and that would be the last time that I washed and took care of her. And she looked up at me back in the shampoo bowl, and she said, Suzanne, you've turned into such a beautiful woman. She hadn't recognized me for 2 weeks. I was so grateful, but I didn't want her to see me cry. So I went into the chapel, and there I was, sobbing my eyes out. There was a wonderful picture of the Lord Jesus up in front of me. And as I cried, I felt this warming, wonderful arm go around my shoulder, and a small voice in my ear that said, don't be sad, she's already mine. I heard my friend give a speech one day, and she was talking about how she continually made clots in her lungs. And she told me this story about this wonderful experience that she had as they were transferring the blood from her body so that she could live longer. And she said she was in the hospital, flat on her back for 7 days while they did this transfer. And the only person that was with her was a nurse. And the nurse was sitting there with her, and all of a sudden she said, I thought we were the only people here. And the nurse said to her, why? She said, because there's 2 very bright beings at the end of my bed. Do you see them? She said, no. I said, well, I do. So she said to them, who are you and why are you here? Are you here to take me to heaven? And at that particular time, the angels spread their wings and the light filled the room. And as they stood there in all their glory, she said, "Am I going to live?" And both in unison shook their heads yes. And they stood there for the longest time, and Diane said, "I knew at that moment that I was going to be completely well." So, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that if you feel a warm hug and there's no one around, or if you hear the rustle of the leaves and the wind isn't blowing, please know that there are angels among us. Madam Toastmaster.